Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be testing out the mica powders that we come in this Let's Resin kit. I unboxed that a couple of videos ago if you want to go and check that out. I also tested the clarity and the bubble freeness of the resin itself. That was one of the last videos. I'll put that in the link above if you want to check that out. But today's about testing the mica powders that come with the kit. So I'm going to use their resin that come with the kit along with each of the powders that come in the little baggies. So I've separated all the powders into 6 separate little cups. I've used the same amount with the little spoon I just shown you, and I'm going to mix up some clear resin now so that we can test these mica powders out. So I'm pouring into the cup 60ml of the part A, 60ml of the part B. I always make too much resin. I really need to get a control on how much I'm actually mixing because I always have too much left over, but that allows me to show you some other ones that I'm going to be pouring today. So I'm going to get my handy dandy mixer out. This really does help with mixing both parts A and B together. It takes it off your hands and your wrist of having to stir it all the time. It was a cheap budget find on Temu and I've been really impressed with it. The only thing that I would change on it is if we had a silicone paddle rather than the plastic ones, just to make it a bit easier to clean up. So that's all mixed now, so I'm just raising the paddle up and just letting some of the drips drip into the cup before I remove it so I can clean the paddle. So I've got myself some sticks ready to do the mixing, and I've left the cup with the resin in for a little while just so the bubbles rise to the top. It shows you there how many bubbles are in this. I do not have a debubbler, so this is what it looks like without that intervention. So I'm just going to go in there now and give this a good stir, taking everything from the sides of the cup and the bottom of the cup just to make sure that the resin is fully mixed in and everything's incorporated. So that's all mixed in very well, and this is the bubbles that we have left in the resin after the stir. And now for the fun part. We get to mix all these beautiful colours with the resin and we'll see how they look, and I'll let you know how they are when they're actually being mixed. So we have the dark purple, the watermelon red and the golden being mixed first up. And these are really stunning colours. This gold just melts into the resin. The shimmer, the shine, the sparkle, it's lovely. I really like this gold colour. Totally different to the metallic colours that I reviewed not long ago. I'll put that card up above in case you want to have a look at it. That was looking at the metallic powders by Let's Resin, which included like the gold, the antique gold, the brass, the silver and copper. Copper was the other one. We're going to get these all mixed in and then we'll have a look at what they look like when they're all mixed in with the resin. So now we're moving on to the bluish green, the dark blue and the black. These powders really do have a beautiful sort of shimmer shine to them, a bit different to what I've used in the past with the Temu mica powders. This is the first batch of mica powders that I haven't ordered from Temu, so I'm really interested to see the difference in, the quality and how they look. Up to now they've melted in perfectly into the resin and there's no clumpiness in there either. Whether that's to do with how they're stored in the little baggies or whether that's to do with the others being in a little pot, I'm yet to find out. So I've got all them beautiful colours mixed in. I'm going to bring out my go-to mould. We all need to have a heart mould. It's one of the best ones for you to have, especially for testing new products. And let's start with a red watermelon heart. Whilst you're watching these yummy colours being poured, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button. It really does help out my channel and pushes it out to more people who are interested in this type of content. Next up we have this warm deep orange gold glow from this beautiful mica powder. I just want to say a massive thank you to all my subscribers. If you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so, especially if you like this kind of content, and if you click that notification bell it'll let you know any videos that are coming up of mine in the future. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, it just really helps my channel grow and reach new people. And now for some strange reason I decided to pick up the watermelon watermelon colour again. Yeah, don't know what happened there. Obviously I had a brain fart, so we need to clean that out so we can carry on with a different colour. So now I've picked up the right colour. This is the bluish green mica powder. And such a beautiful colour. Now we're on to this beautiful purple colour. This is dark purple. And finally we've got this lovely rich dark black. And I chose to do the two smaller hearts because I want one for myself and one for my daughter, being part of the Black Hearts Club. And me being me, I made way too much again. So I'm just going to fill in some of these hearts, and then I've got a couple of other moulds that I'm going to fill in, and that'll give you an idea of other things that you can use them on. Then after filling those in and a little bit of clean up, I'm just going over each of the hearts just with the cocktail stick, just to make sure that the points at the bottom of the hearts are fully covered. This mould is notorious for actually missing those tiny little bits, so I'm just making sure it gets that. Otherwise, this mould is brilliant. I've never had any issues with it, and I've always had really nice pieces turn out from it. So in one of my last Temu hauls, I will actually link it up above the one where I got these from. I got these bead moulds. Now I've never done any beads, never made any beads or anything like that, so I wanted to test them out to see how they are, and also I've got a lot of this mica powder left over, so I thought, why not, let's fill it up. But yeah, it's that time again. You know, that panic pour time? It starts getting a bit goopy. So you may see a bit of panic here. Unfortunately, I didn't record the actual sound of what was going on. I hadn't plugged my microphone in, hence the voiceover today. But basically at this moment in time, I am perfectly happy pouring these beautiful mica powders into these big moulds, having no problems, no care in the world, just filling them up until I decide to fill some up with a tiny little cavity opening. And yeah, that didn't really go well. It wasn't easy to clean up either. And I didn't do it just once or twice. I did it 1, 2, 3, I think 4's coming up. This one's number 5. By which time it looked like Slimer had took a sneeze on my moulds. Once I give Slimer's nose a good wipe and clean over, I thought, I'm going to give it another try. If it doesn't work, then I'll leave it. So after my imagination had given Slimer a hearty help of antihistamines, and it did really well. I thought, this isn't doing too bad, just need to take my time, stop panicking, breathe through it. Got to the top of this one, thought, yay, done it. I'm going to do another one now in red. Yay, it's working out brilliantly. At this point I was lulled into a false sense of hope. When this happened, yep, dreams shattered once again. So now I'm at this point where I'm contemplating whether to actually buy shares and stocks in baby wipes, because the amount of baby wipes I go through for these projects is unbelievable. So I'm happy with the ones that I have poured, and the mica powders look really nice in here. I can't wait to see what they look like when they're demoulded. I'm just going in there now with a toothpick just to make sure that all the corners and the sides are bubble free. Little bubbles like getting trapped around like these posts in the middle and also in 90-degree corners, so that's why I'm going over with the toothpick. And yeah, it's going a bit gloopy now, and I'm trying to take some of this out because I had too much in there. But as you can see, it's becoming a bit of a challenge. I am panicking at this point because, well, it's me, and that's what happens. I make too much resin, I run out of time, I try and pour last minute panic pours and hoping that and praying that it doesn't actually go wrong, but it generally does 90% of the time. So as you can see, I've still got quite a lot of resin left over, so I'm going to bring out my flower mould. I love using this flower for the panic pours because it is pretty and it comes out with loads of different effects and different colours. I'd like to actually do a video with this rose that's not a panic pour, because it's never had a chance on its own, so that might be one that's coming up. What I'm doing now is just mixing the pots together so I can do sort of a dirty pour into the rose, and let's see how that works out. Just want to say a huge thank you to all my subscribers, and if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a penny, it just helps my channel grow. And whilst you're there, if you click the notification bell, that will also let you know when any of my new videos are coming out. And if you don't mind giving us a thumbs up for this video, hyping it, sharing it, commenting, all those good things will really help my channel grow. I also have membership and buy me a coffee if you want to support the channel. Any money that I make on this YouTube channel gets put straight back into crafts and testing and buying products so that I can review them for you guys. Back to the flower. There's no saying what this is going to look like when it's demoulded, but there's quite a lot of colours in there, different mixtures, and obviously the resin's starting to get a bit thicker at this point, so I'm just trying to get it in there as quick as possible, and then I'm going to make sure I can get out any bubbles that are stuck in the petals, just giving that a tap just to make sure any bubbles can come to the surface. Now I'm going to add the remaining colours, and just they're going pretty gloopy at this point, so I need to get that in as quick as possible so it doesn't get a load of air bubbles inside the flower. And then we're going to finish it off with the rest of the black that we've got. Right, so they're all filled up now. I've used pretty much all the colours. There's a little bit of the black left, but with these ones I just want to take the bubbles off the surface, which I'm using a long neck lighter for. So I'm going to leave them to cure up, and I'll be back with you when we demould them. Right, let's see how these mica powders turned out. We are starting off with the watermelon red, which is this baby here. Let's give us some nice swirls in there. It's not as concentrated as other ones that I've used before in the past. Even with that amount, it's not sort of filled it up, but it does give that kind of watermelon effect. So it may be the effect that it's after as well as the colour, because if this is very similar to watermelon interior, so and I'm not sure if you can actually see how much it looks like watermelon, but it has got that kind of watermelon kind of appearance as well as the colour. So that's the watermelon one. Let's also pull out the smaller watermelon ones and just see if we're getting the same effect. Yep, same effect there. These little hearts are so cute. So that's the watermelon ones. Then we have the gold, which is this one. And this looks really sparkly and shimmery. Yeah, I like that. And it's very different to the metallic powders from Memra. This looks entirely different to them powders that I reviewed. I'll put a link up above, or if I did it earlier in the video, I'll make sure I've definitely got it linked. But the chrome, no, it's not classed as chrome. The metallic powders from Let's Resin is completely different to this look. So this is definitely more of a glitter and a shimmer. So let's get all the gold ones of that out. Yep, same throughout. They all look the same with a little difference. Obviously mica powder and resin has its own minds, and I got a bump. Put the heavier one there. Nope, that didn't work. Anyway. Resin and mica powders have their own mind, I'm sure they do, because every single one is different. Okay, let's go for the green one next. This is called Bluish Green. Beautiful colour. Has come through quite translucent with the amount that I've used. And it's a very different effect to other mica powders that I've used. This is very much, it's hard to explain, like a mottled kind of effect. I'm not sure how well you're actually picking that up on camera, but it's like a mottled effect. And then we've got two smaller green ones here. Yep, exactly the same on them. And then we'll go for the purple. Purple's my favourite. Don't know if you can tell. And again, it's got them kind of swirls and like mottled areas. It's sort of got a shimmer of a highlight and then a low light within these mica powders. It's very pretty. It's different to what I've used before. And we've got two smaller purple ones. And then we'll go for the blue next. Oh, very pretty. I know a few people will love that colour. And we made a few of these because I know blue is a favourite. Again, we've got them shimmers and we've got that kind of mottled effect again. I can't think of another word for it. Mottled is the closest that I can think of. And then we've got the two black hearts. Now these are actually look different to the way the other ones have turned out. These are definitely more of a swirl in there rather than mottled appearance. So there's the black ones. Right, so that's all of those. Then we had some extras, which we poured in last minute because we had too much left over. So I'm testing these moulds out as well. In fact, I'm going to take these off the desk. I'll be with you back in a sec. Right, guys. I thought I hit record. I've just demolded all these from these Temu moulds and I didn't press record, so you don't actually get the satisfaction of me popping them out of the moulds. But I'm so sorry. I just want to give you my opinion on what I think of these moulds. They are super. I really like them. The corners are nice and straight. The holes are really centred. It's come out with a nice gloss finish. The colours I'm using are from the mica powders in the Let's Resin kit. Just grab a couple of different colours there. And then we've got the round ones. They've turned out perfect. The only issue with the round ones is it's got a tiny little lip over the top, which you could probably take down with a deburring tool. But they're really high gloss and they've turned out a lot prettier than what I thought they was going to turn out. For a cheap mould from Temu, these have worked out really, really well. And just look at that mica powder, how it's distributed through them beads. They're absolutely beautiful. Oh, and now we've got them all running away. Let's show you the gold. So the gold, that's the square and that's the round one. Again, the round hole right through the middle. With a little bit of touching up, which won't take long, these are going to turn out absolutely amazing. So yeah, sorry I didn't get it on camera, guys, but I'm really, really pleased with the results of these Temu moulds, especially of how cheap they are. So let's unmould this one. We've got quite a bit of a mess that I need to clean up there, but hopefully this has worked out as a good panic pour. Wow. Do you know what? I love it. That's really, really pretty. I love how that gold has sort of come out on that. We've got the reds in the middle, we've got the purples, it makes it dark at the back. Definitely a lovely result on that one. Really pretty. Love it. Right guys, that's everything from me today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I will leave the link for the product in the description below. But yeah, that's the mica powders from Let's Resin. Beautiful results. Really enjoyed working with them. Please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and I will see you on the next one. Bye!